Long ago, in a quiet village, nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, lived a young girl named Elara. Her name echoed through the ages, not because she was a princess or a queen, but simply because she was curious about everything. While other children chased butterflies in the meadow or skipped stones along the riverbank, Elara disappeared into the nearby woods, talking to the trees and flowers as if they could answer. The villagers often chuckled at her antics, shaking their heads and calling her the forest girl. But Elara didn't mind. She found joy in the rustling leaves and chirping birds, believing the forest was full of wonders waiting to be discovered. One day, as the sun began its slow descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Elara heard a sound that stopped her in her tracks. It was a whisper, soft and mournful, carried on the evening breeze. "Help us! Please, help us!" Startled, she turned around, but there was no one there. Only the tall, silent trees seemed to watch her with their ancient, knowing eyes. The whisper came again, this time a little closer, and it seemed to emanate from the very heart of the woods. Curiosity and concern battling within her, Elara decided to follow the sound. As she walked deeper into the woods, the trees grew thicker, their branches intertwined, forming a leafy roof overhead. The air grew cooler, and the playful chirping of birds gave way to an eerie silence. Suddenly, the whisper came again, right beside her ear. "Help us! Please, help us!" Elara spun around, her heart pounding. Just then, she noticed an ancient oak tree with gnarled branches and a hollow trunk. Its bark was cracked and weathered, and its roots spread out like grasping claws. The whisper seemed to be coming from inside the tree. Taking a deep breath, Elara approached the oak and peered into its hollow trunk. Inside, she saw a faint glow, like the embers of a dying fire. "Hello!" she called out, her voice echoing in the stillness. A deep, rumbling voice answered, startling her. "Who's there? Who's in the tree?" "We are the forest spirits," the voice replied. "Long ago, we protected this land and its people, but a terrible curse has silenced us, trapping us within this ancient oak. Only a pure heart can break the curse and set us free." Elara's eyes widened in surprise. She had always believed the stories of mischievous fairies and wise tree spirits were just fairy tales. But here she was, face to face with them. One of the spirits, a wisp of shimmering light, floated out of the oak and into the air. "You must help us, child," it pleaded. "The curse has weakened us, and winter is coming. If we don't break free soon, the forest will wither and die, and we will be trapped forever." The forest spirits explained that, deep within the darkest part of the woods, guarded by an evil shadow wolf, was a black stone, pulsating with dark magic. This was the source of the curse, and destroying it was the only way to break it and restore balance to the forest. But the path to the cursed stone was fraught with danger. Roots would trip her, thorny vines would lash out, and ghostly figures would try to scare her away. And at the end of the path, a fearsome shadow wolf, twice the size of a bear, would stand guard, ready to devour anyone who dared approach. Fear tightened its icy fingers around Elara's heart, threatening to choke her with terror. But looking into the pleading eyes of the forest spirits, she knew she couldn't turn back. Elara promised to do all she could to help the forest spirits. Gathering her courage, she nodded resolutely and stepped into the shadowy depths of the forest. With only her lantern to light the way, Elara ventured deeper into the darkening woods. The trees seemed to close in around her, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. As darkness enveloped her, strange things began to happen. Roots snaked across her path, tripping her and sending her sprawling onto the forest floor. Thorny vines lashed out, scratching and biting at her arms and legs, and eerie whispers seemed to mock her, trying to frighten her away. But Elara pressed on, her determination growing stronger with each step. She stumbled and fell, scraped and bruised her hands, and the scratches on her legs bled. But she didn't stop. She kept moving forward, her gaze fixed on the flickering light of her lantern, her heart pounding in her chest like a drum. Finally, after what felt like hours, the forest grew silent. The trees receded, revealing a small clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing stood a large, jagged black stone that pulsed with a sinister energy. Encircling it was a massive wolf made of shadows, its eyes glowing like red embers. The sight of the shadow wolf filled Elara with dread, and she instinctively took a step back. But the forest spirits urged her on. Taking a deep breath, Elara forced herself to move forward. The shadow wolf snarled, baring its sharp fangs, and lunged at her, its claws extended. Elara cried out and raised her lantern high above her head. The light from the lantern flared, growing brighter and brighter until it was blinding. Startled by the sudden burst of light, the shadow wolf howled in pain and reared back. Seizing the opportunity, Elara dashed forward, dodging the wolf's snapping jaws, and smashed the black stone with all her might. The stone shattered, releasing a shower of sparks that danced and twirled into the night sky. And with a final defiant bark, the shadow wolf dissolved into wisps of black smoke. As the last of the shadow wolf dissipated into the night, the forest erupted into life. Glowing fireflies emerged from their hiding places, illuminating the clearing with their ethereal glow. The trees sighed with relief, their branches swaying gently in the breeze, and the sound of birdsong and buzzing insects filled the air. Overjoyed, the forest spirits emerged from their hiding places and surrounded Elara, their forms shimmering with gratitude. The spirit of the oak tree, its voice now strong and resonant, boomed, "You have saved us, Elara, and with that, you have become the guardian of the forest. The forest will always remember your courage and kindness." With their curse broken, the forest spirits were free to return to their duties, watching over and protecting the forest once more. And so, Elara's name echoed through the ages, not because she was a princess or a queen, but because she was a brave and compassionate girl who had saved the forest and its people. When Elara returned to her village, the people noticed that the forest looked livelier than ever. The trees seemed to wave to her from afar, and the flowers bloomed in vibrant colors. Many years passed, and though Elara never revealed the full story of her adventure, she would often feel the forest spirit's gratitude and love surrounding her. Sometimes at night, when the wind whispered through the trees, she could almost hear the forest murmuring her name, a melody of gratitude and friendship that echoed through the ages.